Hi guys, I wanted to create a new series on my channel for Bookish Play and basically share with you guys some Bookish Play inspiration just for play scenes that I like to create for different stories that Riley really enjoys. So I hope you guys enjoy this, and if you do, I definitely have a lot more stories that I can share with you that I have already set up or that I plan to set up. So I thought I would start with Hansel and Gretel because this is one of Riley's favorite stories to play out. She especially likes to push the witch into the oven. That is like her favorite part of the story. And that is one of the things I really love about Bookish Play. You kind of get to find out what your child's favorite parts of the story are. You get to see them reenact it and really bring the story to life through their eyes. And it's fun to see kind of what their memory remembers versus what their memory skips over. It just really brings out their creativity and their imagination. I've also found that the more I set these up, the more Riley actually also will set them up independently herself. So often after I set one of these up for her, she will kind of pull out similar pieces and set one up for herself. She'll often even grab pieces that I hadn't even thought of to elaborate on the story, which is really fun. And it just inspires her to kind of even set up other stories that I may not have, sorry, that just overexposed there, that I may not have even ever set up for her before. But it just kind of gets her in that pattern of thinking oh, I want to play out this story. What do I need to do it? Yeah, so I've set up one for Hansel and Gretel, and very quickly I'm going to go through what I've used for this specific scene, but I do want to say I do not think you have to buy specific toys to set up these play scenes. Use what you have, use what your child is familiar with, because that is actually the best way to build up their creativity and imagination, is using what they already have and learning how to reutilize them in different ways. So, you don't have to buy just a specific set of toys to only use for one Bookish Play scene. I actually use the same figures over and over again in many different stories. And Riley has no issue with that. She often even pulls characters that have no resemblance at all to the characters in the story, and she's happy to use that, and I'm happy for her to do that. Yeah, so don't feel like you have to find something that matches the story perfectly in order to participate in creating your own little story scene. You can definitely just kind of root around with what you have. Every now and again you might find something really important to a storyline that you want to buy to purposefully use in that story. And if your child really enjoys that story, then I say go for it if it fits within your budget. But otherwise, definitely do not feel like you have to buy exactly what I'm sharing with you guys or something very specific just to fill in a story sack. Definitely look through what you already own and you'll be surprised what you come up with. It's a great way to get your child to work on their imagination as well. So going through what I've used to create a candy appeal, I've used these Crapat mandala pieces, which Riley just got for her birthday. And I've used that to kind of jazz up our Druart dwarf house. So it's called the dwarf house. It's still quite a good size. But I find this house is really perfectly sized for our fairy tale kind of inspired story scenes, especially as it's kind of fairy tale cottage sized. Yeah, so it's really a very basic house. You'll see that it's just, it's just a really simple shape. It's got a window on either side, and just the fireplace is built into the back, but these other pieces are separate from it. So yeah, I've just kind of decorated it up with these Crapat mandala pieces. And then I've also used them inside the house to decorate as well. So I've used one of the Gretel mandala pieces, ooh, it's not focusing, in a fire drop for the actual fireplace. Sorry guys, it's going out of focus again. I need to probably back up a little bit. Oof, hold on. Let me try to get this to focus. And I've used more of the candy pieces kind of throughout to, you know, go along with that candy theme. For the witch, I've used the Ostheimer witch. And then for Hansel and Gretel, I've used the Ostheimer, I believe she's just called the Ostheimer daughter. I'm not really sure. I'll link her down below. I'll link everything down below. And then that is Mo, also by Ostheimer. And then the few bits of furniture that I've placed in there all come from the Grimm's mobile home set. I have the set in the natural wood. It has been discontinued for over a year now, I believe, maybe 2 years. But you can still get it in, there's 2 different colorways they do it in. One is in blues and greens, and the other is in pinks and oranges. Both are actually really lovely. You know, if I could stretch my budget to get a second set just for the pretty colors, I would. But, I mean, the reality is I just don't see that that's necessary. But, yeah, so that is my Hansel and Gretel story sack or bookish play scene. And really quickly, I'm just going to put this down and I'm going to empty out this cabin, and I'm just going to kind of show you how you can use some of the same pieces to kind of create a whole other scene, just to kind of, you know, go along with this idea of using the same toys over and over again, and, you know, having kind of these repeats. So actually, let me just put this camera down like I said I would, and I'm just going to swipe all of this stuff out. And basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to very quickly create a Goldilocks and the Three Bears bookish play scene. This is another one of Riley's favorites to do. She just got the Three Bears as a set in her Easter basket this past year. And she's definitely gotten a lot of love out of it. So right now I am just left with the Druart dwarf house. I've left the little fire drop mandala piece in there just because I think it works so perfectly in the fireplace. I'm going to put the little sink from that Grimm's mobile home back in there. I like to have it live under the window. That's just my like little preference. And then to turn it into Goldilocks and the Three Bears, I'm just sticking a table in there so they can eat. And this is actually from the same mobile home set. I'm sticking in the chair, also from the same mobile home set. And then I might need to push this bed up. And then in the back, this is just kind of like a open-ended rocking piece from the mobile home set as well that you can use as a bed. That's what I'm going to be using it for, but you can use it in an open-ended fashion in different ways. But this kind of gives you all of the different elements that you would need to create a Goldilocks and the Three Bears story sack. So instead of porridge, I'm just using these beehives from the Gretel mandala set. So I'm using like the same furniture pieces. I'm using the mandala sets again. I'm going to use the same little Ostheimer daughter character as Goldilocks, and then I will add in my Three Bears to finish off this story sack very quickly. And then this is the book that I have for Goldilocks and the Three Bears. This is one that you can still get, and this is by Child's Play. It's one of their flip-up fairy tales, and I actually love these books. Ooh, sorry, Real world here, I've just dropped my mandala pieces, and real world here, yes, I'm wearing my pajamas. I'm wearing my pajamas, but I've still got on my shirt from the day. Okay, anyway, I've got a lot of stories from this series. Hold on, I'm actually going to just turn around and grab them off the bookshelf. I'll show you guys. I've got quite a lot of these books because I really like them. So I've got Rapunzel, Donkey Skin, Stone Soup, The Boy Who Cried Wolf, and The Gingerbread Man. And I love these ones so much because they are quite wordy. There's not like loads of words, but basically what I mean when I say they're quite wordy is there's enough words in there to engage and interest an older child. But then they've got like all of these flaps on them to help engage younger children. So Riley has just turned 4. She has had some of these books, not all of them. I started collecting them for her though when she was about 2 years old. And I was able to read them to her at that point because the flaps kept her interested, whereas books that were this wordy generally weren't very interesting to her at that age. But the flaps helped to hold her attention. And now that she's a little bit older, a lot of these like babyish stories that are just board books are very boring to her. But she still quite enjoys these because they have enough words to keep her, you know, interested, because she likes like longer stories now. And then, you know, when she's even older, these are great kind of first reader books because they're quite, you know, simple. So I think these cover a really good age range. Like I said, I introduced these to Riley when she was 2. I would say when your child's like out of the phase of wanting to like rip, you know, pages out of books and stuff, you could go ahead and start with these. And I would say that these are probably appropriate going all the way up to, I don't know, I would say even like 6, 7, 8 years old. As long as they're still into these kind of fairy tales, I think that there's enough to them to hold their interest. My 6-year-old niece would definitely, I think, still enjoy these. So yeah, just really quickly, you can see how I've kind of created a Goldilocks and the 3 Bears story sack using a lot of the same pieces. We've used the same house, the same little girl, the same mandala pieces, the same furniture pieces. Yeah, and you'll see as I like continue this series, you'll start to see that I do use a lot of the same pieces over and over again. That's kind of, you know, one of the beautiful things about just having like very basic, simple toys and an open mind is that, you know, things can be repurposed and reused in lots of different ways. So, you know, you could go all out and have like 3 chairs and 3 beds, but, to me, this is enough for a child to kind of act out. Like, you know, she can pretend that the chair is like Daddy Bear's chair, and then Mama Bear's chair, and then Baby Bear's chair. She's got the place settings for each of them, and then you definitely need a bed for her to be sleeping in so that when the bears come in to find her, they can find her sleeping in the bed, because that is Riley's favorite part of the story. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. Should I keep doing these videos? Is this not really that interesting to you? I really enjoy talking about toys, if you guys haven't noticed. So far, the toy videos have been quite well received, so I'm trying to find ways to basically keep talking about toys and something I love. Yeah, I just want to make sure you guys are actually enjoying the content. So I hope you guys, I hope you guys enjoyed. Let me know what you think, and I will see you for my next video. Bye, guys.